Hello friends, I am Narwade Patil and you are welcome to my YouTube channel Key to English Grammar. Today we are going to see function of nouns. Already in the video we have seen about the noun and we have seen there are five types of noun. For example, common noun, proper noun, collective noun, abstract noun and material noun. After that we have seen what is the common noun. A common noun is a name given in common to every person or thing of the same kind. In this way we have seen about the common noun. Let us see now then what is the use of noun, how it is used in a sentence, what is the function of noun that we are going to see in the present video. Let us see function of nouns. Nouns are used as a subject of the verb. This is the first function of noun, subject of the verb. First, we have to understand what is the subject. The part which names the person or thing we are speaking about is called the subject of the sentence. Then, let us see now how the subject works in a sentence. Let us see, the horse is honest. The horse is honest. In the given sentence, the horse is a noun and it is subject of the verb is. Second example, let us see, they like Sanskrit and English. They, this is subject and this is a pronoun. Nouns or pronouns are used as subject. They like Sanskrit, they is subject of the verb like. Rohan and Mohan play cricket. Rohan and Mohan, this is the subject. But these are the two nouns, Rohan and Mohan. So this is called compound subjects. It means that subjects are of two types. Subjects are of two types. Number one, simple subject and compound subject. These are the two. For example, if we say Anand loves reading, here is a single subject, Anand. Anand loves reading. And if we say instead of this, if we make particular changes and if we say both Ram and Sham help the people, here both Ram and Sham, this is a compound subject, not a single noun. Means Ram helped the people and Sham helped the people, and both we have taken, both Ram and Sham helped the people. This is called a compound subject. Or another example, Rupa and Sita are very intelligent. It means Rupa is very intelligent and Sita is very intelligent. Means Rupa and Sita both are used as a subject, as a single subject, and that is a compound subject. And let us see what is use of noun. Let us see second use of noun, complement of the verb. Noun is used as complement of the verb. Then what is the complement? First we have to see. A complement is that which completes the predicate. Which completes the predicate. Subject, that sentence is divided into two parts, subject and predicate, and remaining part is called a complement. For example, he is a painter. A painter, this is complement in the given sentence. This is complement of the verb is. Then you will say, why this is not the object? This cannot be the object, because after am, is, are, was, were, only complement comes, not the object, because these are intransitive verbs and verbs of incomplete predication. In intransitive verbs also there are two types, verbs of complete predication and verbs of incomplete predication. If after intransitive verb there is no object, and then also if it gives us the complete meaning, we say that is the verb of complete predication. And if after intransitive verb there is something, there is some word or one phrase, without a phrase, without a verb, means without any word, suppose it may be noun, it may be pronoun, it may be adjective, it may be adverb, maybe something. If there is a must, if unless that any word, if the verb doesn't give us complete meaning, we say that is a verb of incomplete predication. If we say he is, and if we leave the sentence, we cannot get the complete meaning. But we can say he is a teacher. Now it completes the meaning. Means after is we need something. Otherwise we can't get the complete meaning. So this is called a verb of incomplete predication. Again, he swims in the river. He swims in the river. After swim, the remaining part is in the river. Where in the river means river is the noun, that is complement. This is because swims, this is intransitive verb. Nanded is a beautiful city. After is we can get only complement, not the object. Nanded is a beautiful city means after is remaining part is the complement. City, that is a noun, and it is used as complement. And third use of noun, object of the verb. This is very common. Subject and object are very common uses, because generally we see that subject or object of the sentence of the verb is noun or pronoun or noun phrase or noun clause. In this way we see the part which tells something about the subject is called the predicate of the sentence. What is the predicate? The part which tells something about the subject is called the predicate of the sentence. We have already seen sentence is divided into two parts, subject and predicate. Means what is the predicate? Subject minus sentence. If we minus subject from the sentence, the remaining part is called the predicate. Then what is the object? If the action passes from subject to object, it is called an object, which is always followed by transitive verb. Means object always comes after the transitive verb, and complement always comes after the intransitive verb. That is also verbs of incomplete predication. For example, he invited me. He invited me. Again, me, this is actually pronoun. He invited Ram. Ram means this is the noun. Ram is in the accusative case, not in the nominative case. So this is object of the verb invited. Rama killed Ravana. Ravana is object of verb killed. And objects are of two types. Sometimes we get confused. Which one is the object? Sometimes there are two objects in the given sentence, because verbs are of two types. Transitive verbs are of two types, monotransitive and ditransitive verbs. Monotransitive verb means if the transitive verb requires only one word, or if it takes only one verb, we say that is the monotransitive verb. And if the transitive verb takes two verbs, we say two objects, we say that is the ditransitive verb. And means direct object and indirect objects are used after the ditransitive verb. How to find out, how to identify? There is particular condition, there is particular test. For example, a direct object answers the question of whom or what. Direct object answers the question of whom or what. If you want to get the direct object, ask question of whom or what to that question, to that sentence. And an indirect object answers the question to whom, for whom, or for what. If you want to get the indirect object, then you should ask the question to the verb with to whom, for whom, or for what. Let us see a sentence. She offered the prince a bag of seed. She offered the prince a bag of seed. Offered, this is a ditransitive verb, and after this verb there are two objects. Number one object, that is the prince. Second object, that is a bag of seed. The prince is called the indirect object because generally indirect object indicates a person, and a bag of seed is called a direct object because direct object generally indicates a person. Then how to identify, how to ask a question to the verb? Let us see. What did she offer the prince? Ask a question to the verb with what? What did she offer the prince? A bag of seed. This is direct object. Whom did she offer the bag of seed? The prince. indirect object. In this way, we have seen about the direct and indirect object, and after the uses of noun. Let us remaining part in the next video.